Parents, students, and community members coming together in Minnesota tonight to comfort each other in the wake of unimaginable tragedy. 2 children fatally gunned down at Annunciation Catholic Church, 17 others injured. The shooter targeting the kids during morning mass just steps from their school. And they are holding each other close as they work to find a way forward here. This is the 10 o'clock news. I'm Sheba Russell.
I'm Jason Martinez. The grieving has certainly started, and so has the investigation into that shooter who carried out this deadly attack in Minneapolis and why. Tonight, we're getting our first look at the shooter. Police identifying him as 23-year-old Robin Westman. They say Westman shot 16 children and 3 adults before turning the gun on himself. Our Fox station in Minneapolis says Westman previously went by the name Robert before a name change applied for by his mother, who said in a filing that Westman identified as female. We're also learning that Westman's mother worked at the school before retiring.
Police say Westman shot dozens of rounds from outside the church through windows. And they say the suspect had a manifesto posted on YouTube, which has since been removed. The FBI says it is now investigating the shooting as a hate crime and domestic terrorism. The motive, not yet known. Fox's Brooke Taylor has more.
The Minneapolis community coming together after Wednesday's tragic school shooting. Memorials and vigils taking place to honor the lives lost and help start the healing process.
There's no words that are going to ease the pain of the families.
A gunman opened fire while young students were attending morning mass at a Catholic school, fatally shooting an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old and wounding 17 others.
There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church.
The shooter, armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, fired dozens of rounds through the church windows as students sat in pews.
At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack.
Police are investigating a motive for the shooting, looking at social media, while the FBI is calling the attack an act of domestic terrorism and a hate crime against Catholics. And police say that the rest of the victims are expected to survive, but some are going to need surgery. In Minneapolis, Brooke Taylor, Fox News.
We want to get back to our top story in Minnesota tonight. A shooter opening fire on a Catholic church in Minneapolis during back-to-school mass, armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol. 2 young children were killed, ages 8 and 10.
And the gunman injuring 17 others, according to police, before turning the gun on himself. Fox's Courtney Godfrey live in Minneapolis on what's been an incredibly emotional day and heartbreaking, Courtney, and there was a vigil tonight as well.
Yeah, so much going on here as people try and respond, try and offer support to the victims' families and just try to navigate this unthinkable tragedy. As you can see, still a very active situation behind me here at Annunciation Catholic School and Church as police continue to process that crime scene, and community members coming here to the scene to just lay flowers, pray, and offer whatever support they can as everyone looks for answers. The 2 young children that were killed here earlier today were only 8 and 10 years old and were sitting in the pews at church when they were shot and killed. 14 other children ranging between the ages of 6 and 15 were injured, along with 3 parishioners in their 80s. Minneapolis police are identifying the shooter as Robin Westman, a 23-year-old with no previous criminal history. They say it was just before 8:30 this morning when Westman started shooting through a window at the side of the church. Police say he used 3 different firearms to carry out the act, and they believe acted alone, dying of self-inflicted gunshot wounds at the scene. Students describing how they hit the floor and sought shelter under pews, saying while they had prepared for this in their school, they had not prepared for an active shooter situation in the church.
We just got into the pews and he shot through the stained glass windows, and then my friend, he was like laying on top of me, like making sure I was safe, and he got hit. So that was really brave of him.
These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying.
School officials confirming with Fox today that the shooter's mother did work here at the school for several years, retiring back in 2021. The Minneapolis police chief also acknowledging the existence of a manifesto that was posted on YouTube about the same time as the shooting. He did not want to go into detail about that manifesto as it does have pretty graphic content, not wanting to speculate either on any motive at this time. But again, back here in Minneapolis, we are just a city in grief, especially as so many parents have been sending their kids